land of creation.
This is actually a spot, a campaign that we are running now through Europe and actually starting it also elsewhere. Hopefully sooner than later it will be developed and be also in India as well. Actually, again, puts emphasis on the experience in Israel, because mind you, it's not like any other destination which you are coming only to see and sun or things like this. It's really an experience in every aspect that you can discuss. Over the last 5 years, we had about 14 million tourists coming to Israel annually, around 3.5 million a year. In the last few years, we had around 40,000 Indian tourists coming to Israel. Actually, 2013 was the best year ever from India. Slight decrease in 2014, but we are positive that it will begin to climb up again. And I'm talking different types of clientele, both coming from religious reasons, but the majority are coming for touring, sightseeing, business, culture, and so on. The climate in Israel, well, I feel kind of peculiar saying it for all those of you who experienced the blizzard, the snow storm that we had only a few days ago, but this is very unique, very untypical, and by the way, it has a lot of positive views as well. I can tell you that a lot of Israelis from the Tel Aviv area drove up to Jerusalem just to see some snow. But usually the summer is basically warm and dry, no rain at all over Israel. The winter usually is quite mild, and actually in the Tel Aviv area, usually it's around 15 to 20 some even degrees centigrade. The area is very small. Listen, India is a continent, is a subcontinent. Israel, as you see, is extremely small, is actually not a whole lot bigger than the Mumbai greater area. Just over 8 million people live in Israel. 3/4 of them are Jewish, 20% Arabs, and close to 5% others. Israel is very developed, really, according to every index that you can think of, and we are always striving, of course, to get even more developed as far as development is concerned. As you heard quite a few, in quite a few occasions, Israel is considered to be, or is called, it's not we that call ourselves, but is called in a lot of other locations, the startup nation, due to the high concentration of different developments, startup companies that are popping up really almost every minute. Tel Aviv, a very vibrant city, which, by the way, is Tel Aviv and Jaffa together. It's the same municipality. Jaffa is a very old city from the times of the Bible, but Tel Aviv, the city that grew up just next to it, is just over 100 years old, founded in 1909. A very vibrant city, a very liberal city, a very upbeat city, really a city that never sleeps. And all of you who had the experience or will have the experience, there are traffic jams also sometimes 4 a.m. in the morning. Haifa, up in the north, this is, by the way, the Baha'i temple. I know that the Baha'i is also very strong in India, by the way. The Baha'i temple in Haifa, one of the holiest places for the Baha'i religious, in Acre and in Haifa. Both of them, the right side pictures are from Acre, which is an old city. From the time of Herod, from the time of later on the Crusaders, it's famous from the time of the Crusaders, and so on. The Galilee, the Sea of Galilee, Nazareth, again, very important for Christians, for Christianity, also for the Jewish history as well. The Sea of Galilee itself is one of the biggest sources and probably almost the only sources, apart from underground aquifers for fresh water in Israel. This is why we are always very eager to measure up what is the level of the Sea of Galilee each and every day, and this is why we are very happy and eager to have rain during the winter. Not far from there is the Dead Sea. We always claim that we have 4 seas, apart from the Sea of Galilee: the Med, the Red, and the Dead. The Dead Sea is known to be the Dead Sea simply because nothing can live over there, because of the high concentration of salt, which is known to be also the lowest place on Earth, just over 1,200 feet below sea level, and getting lower and lower, unfortunately, because of the level of the water is declining. It's a very, very unique place for health, for relaxation, and for beauty. Masada, a very known symbol of Judaism, just overlooking the Dead Sea, was built actually, was mostly built by King Herod, even though it was built beforehand, about 150 years before, but Herod was the one that actually brought it up to the King Herod, who lived just at the time of Jesus, more or less, just before that. Built up Masada as a unique symbol, historical symbol, and a very unique also geographical, topographical spot. The Judean Hills, which we are in right now, Jerusalem is actually on the Judean Hills, and today in the evening, for example, you'll be having your dinner, your evening party at one of these locations just at the outskirts of Jerusalem. Very well known for the culinaric, for the wineries, which, by the way, had developed in Israel, and there are more than 300 different types, from boutique to bigger wineries, almost all over Israel, in the Golan Heights, in the Galilee, in the Judean Hills, and even in the Negev Desert. We managed to find different ways that will suit the climate and the irrigation that is needed for the wineries, for the grapes. And of course, the crown jewel, undoubtedly, is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the crown jewel, not only, first of all, in religious aspects, with historical aspects, with topography, with the types of people, climate, smells, everything that you can imagine. And by the way, only 40 minutes drive from Tel Aviv, only 40 minutes drive, and you are in a completely different world. When you're climbing up from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, you are literally climbing up, both geographically and spiritually. And even if a person is not necessarily a believer or comes from a belief that has any relevance to Jerusalem, I think you can feel the atmosphere in the uniqueness of Jerusalem. Some additional spots in Jerusalem, and of course in the middle, the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall, which is the western wall of the old Jewish temple on the Temple Mount. Alongside with this history, we have a lot of colorful markets in Jerusalem and elsewhere in Israel as well. Culinaric experiences, active tourism, ecotourism as well, sometimes joined together, sometimes not, in the desert in particular, biking, hiking, camel rides, jeeps, everything that you can think of. You have a lot of different activities and experience for people to go via different historical routes or new modern routes that, by the way, the Ministry of Tourism has established, especially as far as biking trails. Down on the Red Sea is Eilat, which we call is the top spot on the Red Sea Riviera. It's a beautiful city that really gives different types of opportunity for vacation, activities for families, for children, and not only, for grown-ups as well. By the way, this is an Indian community that celebrates, Christians of course, celebrates in Nazareth, in this particular case. Some ways that the Israel Ministry of Tourism can support and help you. And don't be shy to ask. We have Hassan in India, in Mumbai, and we have, of course, our head office in Jerusalem. Please be in contact. Don't be shy to ask, to try to see what can we do together in order to have Israel as a bigger, more active product within your baskets of products that you are selling to your clients. And I can tell you one thing, Israel has a very high rate of repeat visitors. More than 50% are repeat visitors. And again, it comes back to what I began a few minutes ago by saying that after being here once, all those walls of misconceptions are put aside on one end, and on the other end, you realize that you want and you have much more to see, experience, feel, touch, everything in Jerusalem, in Israel, and for this we can help you with, first of all, information, coordination with different land operators, with different entities, hoteliers, and so on in Israel, materials about Israel, audiovisuals, and so on, joint ventures. There are the possibilities of marketing agreements that we can put up together in order to help you market your plans or your products to Israel. So we participate in some of the costs, usually up to 50%. It really depends on what is the plan, which is the target audience, and so on. But we don't tell you what to do. You know best what works for you, and we will help you in a matching type of agreement in order to really help you and increase the volume of marketing and selling point to Israel. And of course, public relations, different types of field activities as well, which we are going to, by the way, increase our visibility in different fairs, exhibitions, seminars maybe to do. And I urge you, by the way, to initiate different types of activities that you'd like to do. Contact Hassan over there. I'm not saying everything you will say, yes, let's go and do it, because at the end of the day, our funds are also limited and we have to see what we can do best with our funds. But at the end of the day, first of all, I do urge you to challenge him, and that's for sure, this is why he's there, and to challenge us as well. And we will try to do our best within our resources to go hand in hand with you, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation. And as I said, I believe that once you will have the product of Israel in a much bigger scale on your shelf, I'm sure that you will see also the rentability, the economical aspects and the return of those of your investment. I'll just end very shortly with just another sights and sounds of Israel. And then, if the organizers will allow, and if you'll want, maybe one or two questions, and then we'll continue.